Hello, my dearest friends. Welcome or welcome back to my channel, Diana and the Book Hunt. It is that time of year. It's high time that we talk about the Christmas romances that I've been reading, that I would like to tell you whether they're worth the read, whether you should maybe consider them, or whether you should just stay away from them. I have got more than 20 romances that I managed to finish. Actually, some of them I finished last year, but I didn't get to talk about them in detail at that time. And most of them I actually read in the past month or so, and I've got some thoughts. I had a couple of amazing ones, a couple of really spicy ones, and a couple of ones that were quite disappointing. So I'm going to go ahead and let you know whether you should pick them up and which ones you should definitely consider putting on your TBR to read around Christmas time this year. I'm a bit late to the game. I have been having a hectic time in my household the last couple of weeks, but I definitely wanted to do this video because I've been reading so many Christmas romances that I just want to get some things off of my chest. I'm going to be starting with one of the best Christmas romances I've read probably ever. It's Good Spirits by B.K. Borison. B.K. Borison came out with Love Light Farms a couple of years ago, and she hit the mark with that book. It's such an amazing holiday themed book, and I didn't think that she could top that, but she actually did with this one. Firstly, with the cover. When you see the cover for this one, it's just gorgeous. I actually bought a physical copy for myself because I just couldn't resist the temptation. It's just such a beautiful cover. The story centers on the ghost of Christmas past. It's our hero Nolan, who is in ghost form, and he's visiting our heroine Harriet just before the Christmas holidays to revisit past memories. And typically in such stories, we get to see why a person has become kind of jaded, or like a Scrooge type of a person, like a Grinch kind of a person, and how to better their ways, right? But in this story, we're quickly finding out that Nolan doesn't really know why he was sent through to revisit Harriet's memories, because he's seeing a really good person in her. And the more he's discovering about her, the more he's intrigued by her as well. And certain kind of interesting thing happens that I don't want to spoil for you, that makes the story even more interesting, because we're starting to wonder who this revisiting is benefiting. So in this story, we're seeing a relationship form first through a very delicate and thoughtful conversation, and kind of a friendship building, like a very gradual relationship building between the two. And at the same time, there's just so much thoughtfulness and so much care put into this book. It's so swoony, in my opinion. I just loved every bit of it. I gave this a 5 stars. If I rated anything more than 5 stars, it would definitely be this book. I absolutely fell in love with it, and I would definitely recommend that you pick it up around this time of year. Now, you're going to notice that there's really a lot of different kinds of books in this list. I picked up the next one because I just saw it was a holiday themed romance, and I did not expect to get what I was getting, but I definitely loved it. The book is called Grace and Henry's Movie Marathon by Matthew Norman. This book starts off with both the hero and heroine going through loss. She lost her husband and he lost his wife, both in different circumstances. And both of them need to see how they're going to be moving on with their lives, because she has kids and he is like so completely devastated by what has happened, because his life has been tied to his wife's life as well, because they used to work together. So wherever he goes, he's kind of haunted by the memory of his wife and how he is missing her. And what happens is their meddling families get involved in trying to get them to meet up and to see whether they can strike up a relationship. And the nice thing about this story is that they first become fast friends. This is such an amazing friends to lovers story, and it really deals with the reality of how difficult it is to have to go through the Christmas moments without your loved one, without the person that you would very much like to be with you around that time of year, and how you can find solace with family and friends and close ones, and how you shouldn't really start to hate this time of year because it is still a magical time of year. So I really, really appreciated this book. I know that it's not going to be for everyone because it does deal with emotional baggage, and I'm not sure that everyone wants to read this kind of a story around Christmas time, but for me it was definitely worth it. I didn't know that this book would be this centered on emotional themes, and I do have to say that there is a lot of humor in this book to kind of bring down all of the emotional damage that you're getting within it as well. So I really, really appreciated it. If you would enjoy this type of a book, I would definitely say yes, pick it up. I gave it 5 stars. Now, the next book was a bit of a disappointment for me. It's called See You Next Winter by Holly June Smith. This one follows up book 1, which was brought out last year, and I really, really loved it. Book 1 I gave 5 stars to because the audio narration for that one was just amazing, and it was a short, funny, and spicy, and just a fun read around Christmas time, and I was expecting to get the same from this one. But unfortunately, I didn't enjoy it as much as the first book because I simply didn't love the hero in this one. He was a bit of a jerk at the start of the book and couldn't really make up his mind, and the heroine was rightfully very frustrated with him. This is a story of a hero and heroine who have known each other since kids, and since they became teenagers and they discovered that they can like each other, they've had this on and off friends with benefits kind of situation going on, where every winter when they meet up in, I think it was like the French Alps, like their families go on a family holiday around Christmas time for the holidays, they always kind of hook up. And he is kind of I don't know how you say, if you say it in English like that, like holding her on a leash, like trying to get her to only be with him, but at the same time not really committing to her, which I really didn't enjoy, like that part of the book. Eventually he came around and manned up, but by that time I just didn't really like him as a character. So that part of the story kind of lost me. So from my side, the audiobook narration was again impeccable. So for that part, I would say maybe. But honestly, if you have to pick up a book out of this series, pick up book 1, because that one was just better than this one. Another book that is a quick, fun read that I read is A Very Bossy Christmas by Kaylee Loring. This one, I would say yes, though depending on whether you like this kind of a trope, because it has been done a lot, it's a maybe. It really depends on your reading taste. This one has to do with a boss and an assistant and a fake dating scenario. We've got a very kind of short, fun, banter-filled, spice-filled romance that is just a quick holiday good time. If you like the boss employee fake dating kind of a trope, I would definitely encourage you to pick it up. I do have to say that having read this one and then having read a couple of other books that have the fake dating trope, I am starting to figure out that, I don't know, is it a trend that is going on with all of the fake dating romances that are going on at the moment? But a lot of the Christmassy themed books have fake dating in them. And this one was the first one that I read with this trope for this season. And I did read, I think, 1 or 2 that were maybe slightly better. That's why I'm saying maybe on this one, though I did really enjoy it. I gave this one 3.5 stars. Next up, I picked up another book by Holly June Smith. It's called One More Gift. This one has a unique premise. It's a short read. I read it via audio, so it was a really quick read for me. But I don't know how to feel about it, to be quite honest, because the story starts with the heroine waiting for someone she's looking forward to seeing. She hasn't seen the person in a long time. They live in different locations. She's in England, he's in New York. And we're quickly finding out that he is her best friend, and they're kind of venturing into romantic territory. So they've kind of been looking forward to explore this side of their relationship. But once he comes in, there's a second person who joins their holiday themed vacation, and this is an unexpected visit from her ex-husband. And because they get snowed in, there is this MFM thing going on throughout the story, and it's a spicy good time, that I have to admit. But I just don't know. I expected something completely different when I picked up this book. I would say it's a maybe. It does have a unique premise because you have an ex-partner and a best friend in the mix. So do with that what you will. The next book is a short, cozy, sapphic novella. That one I would say yes to. The book is called Marian Bride by Jen Collington. This one is like a 90-page quick novella that centers on two heroines who are in this small town. One of them runs a bakery, one of them runs a bookshop, and there is this storm coming in around Christmas Eve, and one of the heroines, her bookshop gets flooded, and she's desperately trying to save the books, and the other heroine jumps in to help, and they kind of spend the night together at the top of the bookshop. So I really enjoyed it. This one was a cozy, fun, sapphic novella. I would definitely recommend it. The first book I'm going to have to say a hard no to is Cowboy, It's Cold Outside by Maisie Yates. This book didn't feel Christmassy at all for me. It's a small town romance where we've got a heroine who she's been taking care of her sisters, and she's like the big sister who kind of hasn't followed her dreams. She has always worked to get her other sisters through like school and college, and she's finally opening up to the idea of doing something that she has always wanted to do, and she's looking for a way to do it. So she approaches the hero, who actually feels very guilty about how the heroine's life has gone about, because his family kind of had an influence on how her family was impacted. So someone passed away in her family because of the hero's father. So essentially, he feels guilty. He definitely wants to help her out. And the idea that she has is she wants to open an axe throwing bar. And here I do have to give props to the author. This is a quite cool and unique idea. I haven't read about it anywhere before. So this one I did appreciate. But then the romance between the two protagonist was just not interesting at all. They seem like they are both grumps and kind of have some kind of a rivalry going on, but it just wasn't a fun romance to read. It wasn't Christmassy at all. I thought that maybe if it was a bit Christmassy, it would be a saving grace for the story, but it just wasn't. So for me, this is a no. Moving on to a 5-star read, one that I would definitely recommend is the latest release by Hannah Grace. This one is called Holiday Ever After. This one I absolutely loved. It's so Christmassy. It's so atmospheric. It is so amazing. I just ate it up. I wanted to stay in that small town, in that world, and just live with these characters. The story centers on our heroine, who is part of this family that has this huge company that is a manufacturer of toys. And at the start of the book, we're finding out that her father kind of underestimates her. She has started working for the company to try to prove her worth and really try to take over one of the major departments, but she's not really getting a fair shot from her father. And something happens. A clip goes viral about their company that brings their company into a bad light. It looks like their company has copied a product of a small town creator, and they have tried to profit off of his labor without considering that they're stealing from them. And the heroinist has to go to the small town to talk to the people who put up the video and try to do some damage control. She does just that. She goes to the small town and she actually meets the hero without knowing that he is the person who came up with this doll, who is actually the craftsman. And they have this amazing fun night together where they just spend the night talking, laughing with each other, getting to know each other. And they just have amazing fun together. They have this connection. and nothing really happens between them. But the next day, they both find out who the other person is, and this rivalry kind of starts to take place. But the heroine is so determined to kind of make it right. She's not there to do damage control in terms of how the corporate world would expect her to do damage control. She just wants to help the situation get better for everyone. So she starts to get to know everyone in the small town and starts to help them out, because she sees that what her company has done has damaged the reputation of the small town in general, and there is just no business going on at the moment there, so everyone is suffering for it. And I just love the idea of having a Christmassy romance where we see someone focusing on giving, on doing good for other people, on having the Christmas spirit be about how we need to focus on being good with each other and forge new relationships with each other. I just love the idea behind this story. I found that Hannah Grace did such an amazing job with showing the virtues of our heroine, and our hero just couldn't help but fall in love with her for it. So I fell in love with this story. I would definitely recommend it. I gave this one 5 stars. The next story is You'll Be Mine by Piper Rain. I really love the audiobook for this one, and I would definitely recommend this one. It's a yes for me. It's a second chance romance where we've got a wedding-themed romance. The heroine's sister is getting married to the hero's best friend. She's the maid of honor. He's going to be the best man. They both fly out to this small Christmassy town, and they're involved in the wedding activities. And essentially, because when he flies in, he was supposed to stay at this inn, that something went wrong with his room, so he doesn't have anywhere to stay. The heroine has a B&B, so he stays with her. And they have this forced proximity, close working relationship around the wedding-themed activities. They just cannot resist revisiting their history. So I really, really enjoyed this one. I would recommend it. The next one is a no. It's a 70-page novella called Santa is Coming, and it's about Santa coming. That is all I can say. It's a spicy single mom novella. It's a no for me. I mean, I tend to enjoy Christmassy novellas and spicy ones as well, but there is just ones that are done better than this one. This one was a bit corny. The next one was an interesting one for me because I tend to really enjoy Kayla Gross's books, and I was very curious about this one because I believe this is her first white shoes romance. We've got Scrooge for the Holidays by Kayla Gross, and I would definitely recommend it if you enjoy white shoes stories. If you don't enjoy them, then it's a no. The book centers on kind of like the ghost of spirits past, but not really. So it's not really about ghosts, but about Nephilim, who are half human, half angels. What happens in the story is the heroine, she has kind of lost her Christmas spirit over the years because of the way that she feels she has been treated by her family, also by her partner, and also within her work, kind of. So she kind of has become this ice queen, this closed off person, and she's completely just focused on making it in her career. And she is in this real estate business company, and it's almost Christmas time, and she has decided just around Christmas time to go to this small town to visit this property to let them know that they're in danger of foreclosure if they don't do something about making the place more profitable. And everyone is like, don't do that around Christmas. I mean, let these people have their Christmas time and then do whatever you need to do, but just don't ruin their Christmas for them. But she's like, business is business. I'm just going to go about my thing. I'm going to go there, and I just need to cross this off so I can perhaps make a promotion. And it turns out that this small town is magical. It's where the Nephilim live, and it's where they're sensing. So the Nephilim, they can sense her aura. They see that her aura is gray, that she's just completely drained out of any kind of feeling, and they want her to get back into feeling, essentially. So one of the Nephilim is a Nephilim who allows her to look into the past, one of them looks into the present, and one of them looks into the future. I found that part of the story fascinating. I really, really enjoyed the magical aspect of it. I enjoyed the fact that the heroine got to experience different kinds of sides of her own kind of history, but also her present and future, and how she's confronted with the fact that if she remains with the same type of attitude as she is at the moment, that it's not going to go well for her and she really needs to make better choices. At the same time, it's Gaelic Rose, so you can definitely imagine that this is quite spicy. Actually, the three angels have a relationship with each other, so it's definitely MMMF. And yeah, I really enjoyed this one. I would recommend it again if you like white juice romances. The next book I'm going to talk about is a maybe for me specifically, because I'm not a fan of the trope, but it does have some interesting representation. The book is called Jolly and Jaded by DJ Krimmer. It's a brother's best friend romance. This is one of my least favorite tropes. That's why I didn't maybe quite enjoy it as much as I would have wanted to. The book centers on a hero and heroine who share a loss in their life because she lost her brother and he lost his best friend. He feels guilty about how his best friend died, and he feels such guilt that he doesn't want to pursue a relationship with the person that he has been in love with for most of his life, which is our heroine, so his best friend's sister. He lost his leg in the incident involving her brother's death, so he also feels kind of unworthy of her. And it's a short, kind of wholesome in the end, Christmassy romance. I would recommend it for the representation's sake, and if you enjoy this kind of a trope. If you're not a fan of the brother's best friend trope like me, then maybe you can skip this one. The next book is Checking It Twice by Kendall Ryan. I do have to say that this is part of an interconnected standalone series. I haven't read the other books and I didn't really feel lost in this one, so I would recommend it actually. So in this book, our hero is a hockey player. He's a star hockey player at a hockey team, and he needs to go back for the holidays to Minnesota, to his small town, his hometown, and he has some past with a person in his small town where he just wants to avoid everyone talking about them because he used to be in a relationship with this person. He was engaged to this person, but the relationship ended on bad terms. And everyone has been nosy and asking about what has happened. And he's like, if I go back, I definitely want to go back with a girlfriend. So just everyone leaves my past alone. So he decides to propose an arrangement with one of his team's PR people. She is the kind of person who is a fixer. She's the kind of person who is fearless, doesn't see any obstacles that she cannot overcome, and he feels like she's exactly the right person for the job, to be his fake girlfriend. And what it is, she has always had a thing for him. He kind of has always had a thing for her. They decide to fake date, and both of them are really fearful of how their real feelings may come out to play. And this book I would really recommend because it was really Christmassy. And the found family aspect within the book, specifically for the heroine, is just amazing. And I just overall had a lot of fun with this one. I would definitely recommend it. Now, moving on to a couple of books that I read last year. I don't have very vivid memories of these books, so don't hold me too accountable on them. I just revisited my star ratings and also my feelings on them. And I'm going to really quickly, kind of like a rapid fire, let you know yes, no, maybe. The first one being All I Want Is You by Fallon Ballard. This one really pissed me off. I really hated the hero in this one. He did something despicable in this book, and I don't think he groveled enough to be in the heroine's good graces in the end. So I would say no, don't pick it up. It centers on two writers who started off being girlfriend and boyfriend. So they had a relationship. He did something that broke their relationship off, and now they're revisiting the relationship because they are going on this convention or retreat together or something. So I didn't enjoy this one. It's a no for me. The next one is The Nightmare Before Christmas. I've talked about this book before. It's by Sarah Rash. I highly enjoyed it. I found that the world building in this fantastical world is amazing. The banter, the humor in this book is amazing. This one centers on a romance between the Prince of Christmas, of the Christmas court, and the Prince of the Halloween court. So it's a male-male romance. I would definitely recommend this one. The next one is The Mistletoe Motive. I read that one last year. It has been out for a couple of years already, so most people probably already have read it, but I read it only last year. It's by Chloe Lees. I really enjoyed this one. It's rivals who work at the same bookshop, vying for the same promotion. And he's kind of like the more modern approach kind of a guy towards how the bookshop should be run, while she's the typical bookworm who loves like the old bookstore aesthetic. So they're really opposites who attract. I really, really enjoyed this one. I would recommend it around Christmas time. Then we've got The Christmas Tree Farm. This is so popular. This book has been just so popular. The whole series actually by Laurie Gilmore. I don't think that anyone who is in the bookish community hasn't read this one already, but if you haven't, I would recommend it. It centers on a heroine who is kind of grumpy, hates Christmas, but buys a Christmas tree farm. So she needs to make things work when it comes to trying to make her business work around Christmas time. And we've got a hero who is quite more sunshiny and helps her out. So this one I would recommend around Christmas time. The next one is The Holiday Honeymoon Switch. This one is a no for me. It's about two best friends who kind of look like each other. They're just such besties that they've started to look like each other, and they swap their holiday plans, and it just didn't work for me. I didn't enjoy this one, so it's a no for me. And then I'm moving on to a couple of books that I did read this year still. First one being a very short novella by Sierra Simone. I really love Sierra Simone's books. She writes taboo, freaky, filthy kind of books. And the one I'm going to talk about is a step brother and sister novella. It's a very short book. In audiobook format, it was like an hour read. And it's called My Present This Year. It's just a spicy, taboo good time. I would recommend this one if you like these kinds of novellas. It's all Sierra Simone. I mean, she does an amazing job, even in like a 70 to 90 page novella. It's a really good one. The next one that I read is Hostile for the Holidays by Erin Hawkins. This one I really, really enjoyed. It's a book about two rivals who were rivals in high school already, about everything. Essentially, they've known each other since children, and they've started this rivalry, kind of trying to one-up each other, be the better person in everything that they're competing in. And the heroine just thinks that it's a rivalry, while for the hero, it's always been her. It's always been that he wants to prove something to her, or that he wants to do something for her, but she just doesn't see it. And then they have this meeting at the airport where they're going back to their hometown. And she sees this guy with whom she had this one night stand, and she desperately wants to give him a signal that she's not interested anymore. So she presents our hero as her fake boyfriend. So this is another fake dating relationship. I really, really enjoyed this one. I would recommend it. The last book I'm going to talk about is one that I also highly, highly enjoyed, so I would definitely recommend it. The book is called Anne of Avenue A, and it just really took me by surprise because I thought it was going to be a different kind of a story. I don't know why. Maybe I was kind of tricked by the cover, but this one I just highly, highly enjoyed. It's a second chance romance where we've got a New York themed Christmas romance, and I love those. There is something about a Christmas in New York that gets me feeling nostalgic about the Christmas feeling. I don't know whether it has to do with the movies we were watching back in the day, or I don't know what it is, but it just makes me feel giddy reading a Christmas romance that centers in New York. The book centers on a hero and heroine. At the start of the book, we're seeing how they started their relationship back in college. And the heroine, she is in a bit of a predicament because she has accepted a position as an undergrad student, I think, in a university, and she hasn't shared it with her boyfriend Freddie. And he unknowingly has done the same. He has accepted the position in Argentina, assuming that the heroine is going to want to go with him. But essentially, yeah, this is why at the start of the book they end their relationship, because their ways simply part. But the hero is really, really disappointed with how things went about. And there are reasons for that. And then in the present day, 8 years later, he comes back into New York after having spent years in Argentina. And he buys an apartment in the same building as our heroine. And it's not only an apartment, it's actually her old apartment. And it's because her father made very bad financial decisions that she was forced to sell out their apartment. And he didn't know that it was her apartment, by the way, but he bought it, and she moved to an apartment lower down to live with a roommate for the time being. So they have this forced proximity, a very Christmassy themed second chance romance that I absolutely ate up. I really, really love this one. So there's, yeah, a lot of goodness to this story, and actually to most of these books on this list. There's quite a few that you can pick from if you haven't read them yet. Please let me know what you plan on picking up around Christmas time. Are you intrigued by any of these romances? Have you read any of them, and what did you think of them? I'm really looking forward to picking up even more romances that are centered around Christmas time, around this time of year. So let me know so I can add them to my TBR. What are you going to be reading? I'm really looking forward to sharing more recommendations with you if I do get to read more, but I'm gonna see how that's gonna happen, maybe in a vlog or something. And I'll see you in the next Bookmas video. Thank you so much for sticking around. Have a wonderful, marvelous day. Happy reading. Take care, and bye-bye.